After a 4-hour crisis meeting in the office of the president, the National Emergency Response Committee emerged at the footsteps of Harambee House, a grave-looking CS Mutahi Kagwe dropping the new COVID-19 bombshell.
We have received confirmation of an additional 8 cases who have tested positive for coronavirus. This now brings the total number of those who have tested positive to 15.
Of the 8, 5 are Kenyans, 2 French nationals and 1 Mexican. The CS, visibly incensed by what he termed as Kenyans' casual attitude towards the highly infectious virus that has killed more than 13,000 people worldwide.
That majority of our people have continued to ignore these measures and are behaving as if it is business as usual. As I cautioned last week, this disease is not a joke. If we continue to behave normally, this disease will treat us abnormally.
The government resolving to closing all bars effective midnight as COVID-19 slowly uproots people's social lives.
Effective midnight tonight, all bars will remain closed until further notice. Restaurants are to remain open, but only for purposes of facilitating takeaway services. This is meant to secure the social distance requirement, noting that the increased risk of transmission that those facilities can cause.
The Kagwe-led committee faulting some church leaders for allowing Sunday gatherings, putting many lives at risk, most also not spared.
Experience of Italy started exactly the way we are behaving, where we have told people not to go into gathering, but some of them have decided, because of tithe and because of contributions in a church, or because of contributions in other gatherings, that they must continue to do so. We all know what is happening in Italy today.
789 people died in 24 hours in Italy. That should be a lesson and a message. We should be a learning nation. We must learn and adapt and be able to take care of ourselves.
Even funerals will now be strictly a family affair.
And funerals are restricted to immediate family members only.
With 8 new cases in Kenya, the government says 363 people with whom they came into contact are being sought, their status unknown.
We are tracing 363 persons who had come into contact with these patients.
The national government administration officers are hereby directed that moving forward, there will be no churches that will be open, they'll shut them. And if you are found with an open church in your area of jurisdiction, disciplinary action will be taken against you.
These 300 people have been tracked from the 8 people. And you can see how wide, that's what we are saying, you can see how wide this whole contamination, can get. So when you get to 300, and then the 300 will also have contacted somebody else.
All cases have been imported from outside. Consequently, the government has suspended all international flights from Wednesday, only allowing cargo flights. Anyone now who jets into the country before Wednesday cutoff will undergo mandatory quarantine at a government facility, but at their own expense, with one patient who tested positive, said to be Kilifi Deputy Governor Gideon Saburi, now under mandatory isolation at the Coast General Hospital.
The individual that I spoke about in Kilifi is already positive. The individual. Therefore, the people, in fact, I can tell you that the people who came in contact with this individual are already in self-quarantine.
Police will now step up the enforcement of the measures Inspector General of Police Hilary Mutyambai deploying traffic marshals in all the roads in the country to ensure compliance with the new rules for public service vehicles.
National Police Service will start enforcing the Public Health Act. I'm giving direction to all the National Police Service officers. One, to start by this midnight enforcing the closure of the bars from the midnight.
With the number of coronavirus cases in the country now at 15, the country is glaring at a possible full-blown crisis, even as the government races against time to arrest the virus before it spreads to other Kenyans. Stephen Leto, Citizen TV, Nairobi.